Hi there. This special broadcast is for mothers out there, and I decided to make this broadcast because we are approaching or we're getting close to Mothering Sunday in the United Kingdom, and I just feel like few thoughts with potential mothers that could come across this broadcast. I just want to talk about something I've decided to title a mom that matters. What it means to be a mom that matters. The world of mothers, even in the lives of children, hence are not being equipped or well equipped even for the role. Honestly, if you're watching this broadcast, I want to share this because I have this strong conviction that to be a mother is a holy calling. It is a calling to be a mother. It is not something that one has to take lightly at all. One cannot afford to. Yes, every year mothers are celebrated, but as a mother, how do you feel? What do you feel? Do you think do we have do you sometimes think that am I doing a good job at mothering these children? Proverbs 22:6 says, train children how to live right. When they are old, they will not change. They will not depart. A translation says they will not depart from it. They will not go away from the way that you have shown them. But truth be told, what you have is what you can give. And truth be told, not all of us have it. Not all of us have it. So I just want to share with us just 4 things that I think, that I strongly think, even in this short time, this short space of being a mother, and from the experience of mothers that have actually gathered around me, there's so many things, but these 4 things, I think if we can actually start with it and reflect upon it as we are being celebrated as mothers, even in about a week's time, can we reflect on this and start asking ourselves, how am I doing well in this area? And if we are not, could we actually use even this Mothering Sunday as a startup on all these 4 areas that I'm going to be sharing with us? What does it really mean to actually be a mom that matters? The way for me, oftentimes I have told myself that when my kids are long gone away on their own, when they are fully grown, how will they remember me? What sort of mother are they going to say? Will I be mother that matters? A mother that they would want to expose even their children to, that they would think that I have some values that I could impact on their children. Would they remember me as a mother that has actually instilled in them the roots that they need to grow and the wings that they actually need to fly? So I just want to share these few thoughts with us. 4 things, simple things we all know about, but we may not particularly have paid attention to. That's what I want to share with us. Number 1, love. We need to love God. As a mother, I think for us, like I said earlier on, it's a holy calling. That's how I see motherhood. That's how I see mothering. It's a holy calling. If it's a holy calling, and if it is divine, it means I need divine assistance. It means I need divine help. And if I need divine help, who else? Where else can I get it from? I can only get it from the only one source, and that is God. And for me to get it from God, I must understand who this God is. For me to understand who this God is, I must appreciate the fact that He actually loves me. He's loved me even before I knew Him. He's loved me even before I have the consciousness of His existence. And we need to love God. As mothers, it is key for us to love God because we have to love our children. And can we give what we do not have? 1 John 4:19 says, we love because God first loved us. And we know that God is love. And if we are going to have love and be able to show this sort of love that our children really need from us, we need to have a connection with love himself. And that is God. We need to love God. And the love of God is what will push us. The love of God is what would empower us to do some things. As a mother, and because we are flesh and blood, there are times that our children will need chastisement, they will need discipline. Honestly, it is the love of God that will compel us to go ahead and do that which we need to do. And if we truly love God, we will realize that we are all just custodians. We do not own these children. He owns them. He's just giving them to us to take care of for him. And if we see it that way, don't we think we need to connect to him? Love God. That's number one. And number two, we need to pray continually for these children. As a mother, we need to pray for them. We need to cover them always with the blood. We need to, because the world out there is so wicked, is so wild. And for them to be able to face the wiles of this world and to remain standing, we need to cover them. They need that invisible hand. We need to be able to tell them that God, take them back to the one that gave them to us, that God, teach these ones yourself. And we can only do that even in the place of prayer. And there are about three things, at least in the place of prayer, that we also need to be doing. We need to pray for God's plan, not your plan, not my plan. We have our designs, we have our desire for our children, but truth be told, it is only God's plan that is the best plan, because he knows why he created these ones. So let's always pray that God, let your will be done concerning my child. Let your will be done concerning this one that you are giving to me. Let your will always override my will concerning them. If we pray concerning this, we'll be amazed at the things that will be happening even in the lives of our children. We also need to pray that we will see our children through the eyes of God. Because oftentimes, especially those challenging times, we really want to see them not through the eyes of God, but through the eyes of what they are meting out to us, through the eyes of their actions. And if we continually see them like that, we may not be able to perform our role as mothers the way we ought to, the way he expects us to do it. So we also need to always pray that, God, help me to see through your eyes. Because when we can see through his eyes, we'll be able to do that thing that which he wants us to do, even with them and for them. And also we need to pray specific verses for these children. We need to set time to pray for these ones. A typical example is Proverbs 3:5-6. Let me just read that verse, but I'll be inserting my name. But I'll suggest scriptures like this. Let's just read them out and just insert the names of our children. I read Proverbs 3:5-6. It says, Lord, I pray that me, Atinuke will trust in you with all his heart and with all her heart, and will lean not unto her own understanding. I pray that in all her ways, Atinuke will acknowledge you and that you will direct her path. That's a strong prayer point. So we can just take out these scriptures and use it to pray for each and every one. Just insert the names of the children that the Lord has given to you. Prayer is an eternal gift that we can give our children, because wherever they are, no matter how far they are from us, we can always cover them through the medium of prayer, because we know we serve this God that is able and exceedingly able. I want to give an example. Prayer is something also we need to teach these children. There are times they will have challenges, they will run to us. Yes, it's good to pray with them. Yes, it's good to pray for them. But my sister, I think more importantly, let's teach them also how to pray. Let them know how to pray, that there will be times mom will not be there, dad will not be there. They have this heavenly Father that is a mother and a father even to their mom and their dad. So because when they see that, when they know that, when we start teaching them that, it helps them even when they're on their own, on small things, big things, they can take them to God. Number 3, let us give time. Let us find time for all this, our children, no matter how many God has blessed us with. I know time for some of us that we have a number that we think can be overwhelming. If God has given them to you, He will give you what it takes to take care of them. Time they need. Our children need time, because the time is going to come that they're not going to be there with you. So we need to create that time. I mean, quality time. Quality time. And even in the advent of social media, it's taking most of our attention. Even most families now, you see that we don't talk as much as we ought to be talking to each other. We need to create that time for our children. So mothers, this broadcast is specifically for mothers. I want to encourage you. Please let us create that time. Let there be a me time for you and each child. Create a me time for you and each child, and the Lord will help us, because even like the Proverbs 22:6 that says, train up your child the way he will grow. It is those me times that they will share some thoughts that ordinarily they might not share with you. And even for those of us that our kids are still very young, that they're in school, why not pay a surprise visit and just go to them and say, oh, I decided I want to come and pick you up in school today. And it, for those that are kind a bit grown, maybe in secondary school, they may be like, Mom, why are you doing this? You're embarrassing me. But to say that I just want to have a date with you. I want to take you out and all that, let's just create such times with those children. And there are moments that they will always remember. They will remember this time. And if there's one thing that I also know, that for children, love is spelled time, or time love. That's the way they see it. The way they see that we love them, the way they perceive they can receive our love, is the time we spend with them. I'm talking about quality time, not in these days that everyone, you see the mother is you have the mother on her phone, maybe checking out Facebook. You have the father on the tab. You have children on different gadgets. I'm not talking about that. We can actually be physically present or beside each other, and yet we are not connecting. I'm talking about times that we connect. I've heard about somebody who says in her family there is a particular time that all phones must not be picked again, because they realize that we're actually losing that connection, that family connection. So mothers, let's spend time with them. And lastly, my number 4, I decided to, this is the way I phrase it, be the example and not the explanator. Mothers, we are so good with explaining things, saying things and all that. Do you know that actions speak louder than our words? Yes, we say it, but they watch us. Do we do what we say? Do we what we advise them? Do we do it? Let us be those models that they will remember that, oh, my mom used to do this, and that's why I'm doing this. Even unconsciously, there's so many things they pick up that they do not know. Even for us, if you sit down and assess some things that you do, you realize that you might have unconsciously picked those things up from your mom or even your dad. So all naturally people pick up actions, especially children. They pick up action, and I have this example to illustrate this point. And this is something that I've read in so many books, and I've heard speakers talk about it. About a lady that got married to this young chap, and after their honeymoon, she went to make a roast turkey, and she was cutting off the limbs of the, and the husband asked, honey, why are you doing that? I said, I don't know, that's how my mom used to do it, so, and that's how I do it anyway. And was like, why does she do it? Of course I don't know, I know she does it that way, and I believe it's okay, that's why I've been doing it. So this guy in his mind was like, okay, when we go visiting my mom-in-law next, I'm gonna ask her, which he did when they went to visit the mom-in-law. And he asked the mom-in-law, oh, my wife does this, and she said that's how you also prepare your roast turkey. And the mom was like, oh, I actually don't know, that's how my mom actually used to do it. Thankfully, the grandmother was still alive. I mean, the mother-in-law's mom. So, another occasion arose that they were all together with the grandmother, and I think it was in the grandmother's house, as the story went. And this guy went to ask the grandma that, oh, my wife actually does this, and she picked it up from her mom, and her mom said it's from you. Why do you do this? Why do you cut off the limbs? And lo and behold, the real reason came unfolding. And the grandmother said, oh, the reason then in my days, my pan was very small. I didn't have a big roasting pan. So I had to cut the turkey to the size of my pan. What is the moral of this story? What are we supposed to learn? That's generations. That's how our actions, how they travel. They travel generations up to the 4th generation. It's something that is as simple
as just roasting turkey. How much more other habits? So mothers, as we are preparing to be celebrated, can we please also do is let's just chill, relax as we are being pampered, and reflect on these 4 things that I've shared with us. And if you like this broadcast, I'm going to be doing a special Mother's Day broadcast shortly. Could you please subscribe to this channel?